I'm trying to wrap my head around how Brian would drive across the country, having left with your daughter and returning without her and not saying anything about it. What do you say to yourself about that?
It's not even his van. I mean, I can say a lot of things that aren't appropriate for TV. Like I said before, I'm a protective dad, you know, and I got a lot of questions.
Well, let's talk about those questions, because they need to be asked, and maybe somebody will know something about it. But he leaves and drives home without her. What do you say to yourself about that?
First of all, you came home without her. Then you had the van for 10 days in your driveway. So now I got, what happened with the van? Did you clean it? Did your parents help you clean it? Did they help cover up a crime? You know, after the fact, I want to know. Like, I got these questions. You know, like, did you stole a car over across how many states? You know, can you be arrested for that? Like, I got a lot of questions. Until I get my daughter back, I don't give a damn about the questions. I got to get my baby girl back.
Well, but that may lead to getting her back and finding out where she was. He drove across the country for how many days without telling you she was missing? 7?
Well, I guess he was home on the 1st, right? So it takes at minimum from Wyoming, it's a 2-day drive.
Right, but you last heard from her on August 27th, and he arrives home on the 1st, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 7 days between when you last heard from her and when he arrives home without her.
Well, there was another text message to her mom on the 30th.
But she doesn't believe that was from Gabby. What did the text say?
No reception in Yosemite. And we thought it was actually like a autocorrect where she meant Yellowstone.
So there's this text message that just says no service in Yosemite. What were the last words that you spoke to your daughter?
We were working on her website. You know, she was telling me about the trip, where she was going, and all this other stuff. She, said, "Listen, I'm going to have some bad reception, in certain spots, so I'll call you when I can. I'll let mom know I'm going to be calling her." All right, cool. And then we were working on her website and she had some problems making the email address work, for nomadic static that she was doing. So I'm not a techie guy. But I sat down at my computer and we YouTubed it and we figured it out together. I sent her some food through my Domino's app, and we were just laughing, having a good time, trying to make it work. It was frustrating off the start when we couldn't get the email to work, but we got it.
Okay, and that was when?
That was on the 21st of August.
All right.
Because me and Gabby talk once, twice a week. Her mom speaks to her 2-3 times a week. My son talks to her, a couple times a week. So, it's always someone talking to her, and you're like, "Oh no, I haven't, and you don't think anything. You're traveling the country." But then it started to become a week. Now it's 10. Now we got a problem. You know what I mean? Now you're 10 days. You know what I mean? We got a problem. And that's when it was it.
During that time, he never called you. He never said, "Hey, just so you know, I'm home with your daughter's van, but not your daughter. She's out there in America somewhere. I just left. She went off with some people, or she's in a hotel." Nothing. Nothing. Zero.
No, nothing. Gabby's mom last talked to her physically on the 25th. Right. On the 30th, she hears, she gets a text message that there's not a lot of service in Yosemite. She, you can think it's an autocorrect or whatever. You don't think anything of it, but then come the 1st, the 2nd, 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, you're not hearing from her. All right, because you're camping, there's not a lot of service. I'll hear from her in a couple of days. And then, you let two days more go by. Now you start calling people and stuff like that. You're like, all right, maybe, whatever. And then we started we tried on the 10th to do, like I said, the missing person. We finally got it in on the 11th.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.